On this episode of Infowars News, Christie folds after HEPA soldiers quarantine nurse for 24 hours. Sources say that soldiers are not under strict Ebola quarantine in Italy, and the Black Panther called for Ferguson protesters to attack whites. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. Okay, folks, this is the first article of the day here, and it is an article written by Zero Hedge. The article is titled, New Jersey Governor Christie folds unquarantined symptom-free nurse after 24 arson. Underneath it says, Christie got a tap on the shoulder. It says that in a sudden reversal, New Jersey Governor Christie said Monday that the state will release the quarantined American nurse who has been confined in a hospital isolation tent upon arrival from West Africa, despite showing no signs of Ebola. As the USA Today reports, Casey Hickox, 33, was the first person pulled aside at New York International Airport Friday under Christie's new restricted mandatory quarantine for 21 days rule. It appears, as Reuters reported, Christie got a tap on the shoulder as the White House has told states to have imposed mandatory quarantine for some travelers from Ebola-hit West Africa that the policy could impede to fight the disease. Really? To fight the disease? Seriously? Addition, in true legitimacy American style, Hickox plans to sue. Christie makes a strong statement last night, and, to be honest with you folks, the article goes on to say that basically Christie falls and releases the woman, and the White House is under pressure about all this. It says here that basically the White House has told states that impose mandatory quarantine for travelers from Ebola West Africa that the policy could impede the fight against the disease. The White House voiced concern on the government of New York and New Jersey about the potential quarantines, and senior administrators said Sunday. Really? I mean, we already know what Obama's done already. He's basically letting anybody from the borders, from anybody from West Africa into this country. Basically, that's probably the one thing we have to deal with here, because to be honest with you, they are letting Ebola patients in here to crack the country, and they want it to spread. And I can't commend Christie for doing so, but basically the White House basically is doing this so they can get a power grab before the election starts. Okay, on to the second article of the day here now, folks. The article is written by Kit Daniels, and the title is Source: U.S. soldiers not under strict Ebola quarantine in Africa. Small outposts with nurse stations serve as quarantine facilities, according to previous reports. The article says here that the U.S. the U.S. soldiers returning from Ebola-stricken Liberia are not under strict quarantine at an army outpost in Venice, Italy, despite media reports to the contrary, according to high-level sources which knowledgeable on the subject. It did appear strange that the army would use Census Iredine as a quarantine facility from Ebola, considering the outpost allows family members to accompany soldiers assigned to the station. Great! They're gonna spread it to the families and they're gonna come here. Isn't that lovely? The health center is capable of treating a minor illnesses, lacerations, follow-up screening after discharge from the local Italian hospital, a Defense Department website states. So in other words, the Army is claiming that a small outpost with a nurse's station is serving as a quarantine facility for a dangerous disease. Earlier this month, Pentagon claimed Ebola is not a high risk to troops, yet the reassuring carried little weight. I am confident that our service members' safety and the safety of the American people, U.S. Army General David Rodriguez, the commander of the Africa Command, AFRICOM, said, adding that any soldier who contracts Ebola will be flown back to the U.S. for treatment. You gotta be kidding me, right? You straight tripping or something. I mean, folks, I read one article right about a nurse being released who is actually symptom-free, and to be honest with you, this, and listen to me carefully, if any of these families come back here, and there's already been reports that basically this Ebola can survive in cold weather and drops to 45 degrees, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And a lot of people need to prepare now. Okay, folks, this is the last article of the day here, and it's actually a video. Which is titled, Alleged Black Panther calls on Ferguson protesters to attack whites. Underneath the title it says, Twitter user illustrates the hypocrisy of tolerable leftists. And underneath it says, a Twitter user illustrates the hypocrisy that is only tolerable leftist and can demonstrate when he skewed radical hatred and called for the killing of whites and white protesters in Ferguson. He or she also claimed to be a communist and a former Black Panther. And you can see here the Twitter link here. So I'm going to start the video up and let you listen to it right now. So here is the video.
I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com with a developing story right now. We have this Twitter account. It's called @thesailor2014. Now this person claims to be a former Black Panther, communist, and raw story poster. And you can see they put the rawstory.com link on their page. Now there's some interesting things going on here. This person is inciting violence, retweeting people saying Halloween is a perfect day to purge on the whites and kill them. But what he's mostly talking about on this page is stuff about Ferguson. Beware of the white devil posing as your friend Ferguson. They will turn their back on you in a heartbeat. White people need to get the F out of Ferguson protest. Stuff's going to get real, and we aren't going to care if you white, you gone. If there is no indictment in Ferguson, black folks need to find the nearest white protester and take care of business yourself. So you can see this guy has a serious issue going on. I mean, this guy is calling for the killing of people out there protesting. And from what I've seen, I've been to Ferguson myself, there's a lot of people out there that are with these communist parties who are trying to incite violence. They're trying to spark a racial war to have that divide between blacks and whites, you know. And this guy is clearly attacking people who are going to the protests and trying to help out regardless of what color, you know. And it looks like they're going to get mad because so far what we know is that the officer Darren Wilson will more than likely, you know, not be convicted of killing Michael Brown, and it's going to piss off a lot of these guys.
Well, folks, there you have it. I mean, the cop didn't even do anything. I'm not trying to side with the cop, but it was a tragic thing. But if we have people like this doing this, what type of society we're going to be living in? We have to make sure the truth comes out, even though it already has about this cop, and basically be bygones. Well, that's all the articles I have for you today. If you'd like more about the articles, please go to Infowars.com or Prismanet.com. There you can find hundreds articles just like this one I have just for you today. This is Infowars Blitz. I'm Faithful Gundam, signing off. Bye-bye.